The PL Series L desk arrives in two boxes, the return shell and the desk. Here you can see the hardware that is included with the return shell box.
So what we're doing today is we're going to be assembling our return for our desk. And what we do in our return is you've got the main panel, the modesty panel for the return. It's going to have the two holes up on the top here, and then you'll see a matching set of three holes because it is reversible. So depending on how you're going to assemble it for a left or right return, if you're assembling it for a right return, you would use this side. If you're assembling it for a left return, you would use this side. And the directions will point that out to you. You're going to then put your cam locks in here, your receiving cam locks, into whichever side you need. So in this case, we're going to put them into this side. You want to have the open side out towards the hole to the edge of the panel. And you insert all three of them and just push them down in towards the bottom of the unit, like so. Once you get those all in, and you're going to put these in on your connecting side on your return panel, and then you're going to do it at the top of both the full modesty panel and also on the return end leg panel that acts as the modesty panel at the end of your desk. And that's what this short piece is over here. You'll see the three metal pieces, the matching sides again, because left or right. In this case, because we're going to be making a right return, we're going to put the pins in here, and it's just these long pins that you see here, okay? And you just screw those in, and then you'll hand tighten, and then you'll tighten those with a screwdriver once you get them in here, hand tighten. Once these are all in place and you've got these locked in with a cinch or just a screwdriver, we're going to connect these two up, and we'll do that in just a second. Once you get your pins in place, then you just put your modesty panel to the end and just drop it on top, and it'll sink in like that. Once you get there, you just take your cam locks and turn them clockwise until they lock in place, and you'll feel it. And you'll do that for all three of these. Just give it a, and you'll feel it cinch down and lock in place. And that attaches your two modesty panel pieces together. When you go to put your top onto your modesty panel, to your two modesty panels that you have attached, what you want to do is take your top panel and just line it up, and you'll see these wood dowels that are already included and put in. And you'll line it up so you get a kind of a dry fit so that you know which ones you need to put your pins on. As you can see, there's multiple pin locations here. You'll see them throughout the panel underneath your top. That's because this top can be used for things like a small table and other items. So it's manufactured for multiple uses. Depending on the length of your modesty panel, you may use one of these other two holes, depending on the size of your modesty panel. In this case, we're dealing with a 30-inch, so we're just going to use the two outside holes. And we can see that by dry fitting, in effect, all of the wood dowel pins to that, and we'll lock that in here in just a second. All right, and then once you have your pins in place, you just line them up with the holes, and you're just going to insert your top into the panel. Now the directions will show you to do this from having the top laying down and drop this on top of it. We find it easier in the field to do it like we just did here, where we insert it kind of sideways or in the upright position, and it allows you to connect it much easier. Then you just turn your cam locks tight to connect and cinch your top into place, like so. That assembles your return primarily. And then once you have the top attached, you just flip it on its top side down, always making sure you have it on a soft surface. And then you just put your adjustable feet into the base. You'll always know which side is your bottom side of your modesty panels because of these small cam pins that accept the adjustable feet and glides. And then I always put them in tight to the bottom so that once you get them in, not super tight, but hand tight, a little loose, so that when you get them on the floor, if you need to adjust, you can always get your finger in there and just give them kind of a side spin to go. With your return, as you're in part of the assembly process, you're just going to put these large L brackets underneath and use the small wood screws to insert them randomly, so you can make a small drill hole just to tap the backing so that your wood screw goes in better, Or you can just start your wood screw with your drill and put it in, turning it about a 3-weight. You'll do that in each part of your return side. One in the end leg and one in the modesty leg, and use the larger of the brackets that are included for that process.
Next, we'll work on assembling the desk, and you can see the hardware that is included for the assembly of the desk shell.
So when you start to put your desk together, you're going to put your top face down towards a soft surface with the back side exposed. You put your cam pins in the 4 outside corners, and then the one center piece, there's one in the center. You'll notice that on the back of most of your tops, you'll have another pattern of 4 units. Those are for other assembly pieces, for hanging box files or other pieces like that. You put your cam pins, just hand screw those in, and then you'll cinch those all down with a Phillips screwdriver. You will notice that your grommets are all facing basically the wrong direction. That is by design. That is for shipping. So you'll pull those out, and when you final assemble it, you'll drop them in from the other side. They're putting this way so that for shipping, they're not facing the top, and when you lay it down, you don't accidentally crack these or hit them too hard on the ground or do something to them. This way you've got them. You pull them out, put them off to the side, and then use them in final assembly, which we'll do later. As part of your assembly process, then you're going to get your end panels for the desk prepared. You're going to take a cam like you see here, one of the cam acceptors, and push it through here with the arrow pointing up towards the top to the opening. And you just insert that with your finger and push it all the way in. You'll do that again on the lower part of it. Each one of the end panels will have 2 of these, one here and then one lower at the bottom. And you just insert and press it in, usually with a thumb or finger. And then you'll just take your cam pins and put them into these 3 acceptors here down the side. And these are all for the end panels on your desk. And once you have those in place, you'll do that for both sides. You'll repeat this process for both the left and the right side of the desk. On your full modesty panel for the desk, what you're going to do here is there's no pins that go in here, but you're going to insert all of your cam acceptors, and you're just going to stick those into all the holes that you see. There's one at the top center. You insert there. That one goes pretty flush because this is a smaller panel because it's modesty. And then you'll do that for all 3 on each side, which will accept the pins on the end legs that we just put in. So once you have your top all preset, then you're going to take your modesty panels with all their pins and lock it in place. You're going to insert your modesty panel into the cam locks. And you're also going to use your dowel pins here that will help line you up so that you get it in there nice and smoothly. And then once you have that in place, you just take your cam locks, give them a turn, and it'll cinch it all together. You'll see that as they come together and lock in place. And you do that with the bottom side facing up. That's what you can see with the feet adjustable inserts there. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other end panel. And then you just assemble your other end panel to the desk. Take your screwdriver, cinch the first one in place, and the others will just follow right along. Then you're going to take a second person, you want a second person for this, you're going to lift this whole piece onto the base unit right in front of you and line it up, and then we'll cinch those on. We'll do that in just a second. And then you just drop it, once you're with your assistant, you just drop it into place over the pins, and then you're just going to take your screwdriver again and lock in all of your cam locks into place. And it's just, in this case, going to be the 3 on the inside, and the other one will be on the outside of the modesty panel on the front corner of the desk. And then before you flip it over, you put your adjustable feet into the inserts. There's 4 of them, 2 on each of the end legs and panels. And I always put those in again, hand tighten, but leaving them a little bit loose so that you can get your finger when the desk is on the floor to adjust them when you have to lift it up. Make it easier. I'm going to do that on both sides. Just screw those in, and everything here is just hand screwed into. Included in your hardware pack will be 5 L brackets that you see here. These are randomly placed. We generally recommend to put 1 in each side leg, and then 2 in the main modesty panel, separated about in thirds there. And you'll have an extra one. Feel free to use it where you want. They are freeform. We recommend that you just pre-drill the hole to put them in. Just tap the back of the cabinet or the back of the desk just to get a starter hole for the really small little wood screws that are included, and attach these throughout the underside of the desk for added support as just a last safety measure to increase the stability of your desk. And then once you have your desk upright, just insert your grommets back into the top. And the assembly of your desk shell is complete. When you bring your return to make your L desk, in this case we're making a right return L desk. This is just a small 60 by 60 L desk. What you're going to do is you're going to bump your return up against the desk. And then once you get that all in place, you're going to climb underneath the desk and take one of the small brackets that's included with your return. So once you have your L desk in place, you're going to take the 3 flat brackets that are included, and one of the flat brackets you're going to put here like this, and you're going to cinch your unit together, your modesty panel to modesty panel, by screwing in randomly anywhere with your wood screws, the small wood screws that are included. I usually go into the desk first, and then that helps to draw the return into the desk and tighten up this seam here. You just need to put one, usually about 6 to 8 inches up from the floor is all you need there, because you will also then add 2 more underneath the desk. What you're going to do then is take your other 2 flat brackets and you're going to put them underneath the desk so that 3 holes are on each the desk and the return underside of the top. And using a drill, again, you're just going to puncture holes so that it makes it easier for your wood screws to bite when you use your gun. And you're going to attach those underneath, and you're going to put 2 flat brackets randomly underneath here. We usually put them about 6 inches back from the front, and then about 6 inches back from the top, from the back side, so that it gives it a nice balance and holds the weight and keeps your desk nice and tight together at the surface.
And that concludes the assembly of your PL Laminate L desk.